Friday Night Boxing brought to you by Hennessy Sports. Time now for a middleweight contest. This bout scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Timekeeper ringside is Tony Dunkley of Shrewsbury. And above the sound of the bell, the scoring referee in charge of this contest is Sean Messer of Dudley. Firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, he's wearing these solid black shorts this evening. Scaling on the weigh-in officially at 11 stone, 7 pounds, 2 ounces. 26 professional victories, including 16 going inside the scheduled distance. Standing in the ring this evening as a former Hungarian super lightweight champion and a former WBO European super welterweight challenger. Boxing out of Budapest, Hungary, introducing Squirrel, Gabor Gorbics. And across the ring, boxing out of the red corner, wearing black and silver, stands his undefeated opponent. Scaling for the bout at 11 stone, 5 pounds, 3 ounces. His fight record perfect, 9 victories, including 5 going inside the scheduled distance. In the ring this evening as the reigning Midlands area middleweight champion. And tonight, he boxes right here in his home city where he is the Coventry Crusader, the undefeated River Wilson Ben. Referee Sean Messer with his final instructions.
Okay, boys, a good clean fight. When I say break, stop punching and step back. Obey me at all times and protect yourself at all times. Understood? Touch gloves.
So another chance for us to see River Wilson bent, and what a prospect he is. 9 wins out of 9, his last 3 early. Strong against George Farrell last time, defending his Midlands area title. Eventually got to him in 7, and he makes mistakes. He's far from perfect, but he's thrilling to watch River Wilson bent, and he's very well supported here as well. Sold at least 300 tickets, and he's got Coventry City fans behind him here.
Yeah, the crowd were fantastic, weren't they, when he on his ring walk there, really cheering him on, and that's good. Good to have crowds back and people buzzing, but started really positive here. Bent, nice long solid jab, he's stepping behind it as well. Get a bit of purchase on the shot and stay in focus at this point.
He wants to set everything up behind that jab. He's up against a very late replacement, Gabor Gorbics, known as Squirrel. Had to come out of his burrow. Late replacement for Sladan Yanyanin. A draw and 8 defeats in his last 9. It will be about survival for him.
Good little counter left hook there from Bent. This is Gorbics was coming forwards. Lovely shot. That's the way. See, when you've got long levers like that, that's all you need to do. Everything behind the long jab.
Well, the story goes that Nick Hennessy has big plans for him. The plan is to meet Tyler Denny for the vacant English title by the end of the year. Then he wants a shot at the British title and European as well. He'll be very well supported and very watchable too. Sort of fighter River Wilson Ben, you can just see being in some really good fights, and that Midlands area title win against Troy Coleman with the chopping right hand really made people sit up and take notice.
And the reason why you see him being good fights is because he boxes really well, like he is now, structured, everything's a thought behind his work, and then he can make some silly mistakes now and again, get a little bit scrappy. What's working well for him tonight so far, he's done it twice now, that little lean back left hook. As Gorbics coming forward, and he's caught him with a lovely shot. Again there, that right hand, leaning too far forward, we've got to turn more from the waist. You don't want to give ground, you don't want to get too close to your opponent when you're throwing that long right hand.
I know when he boxed on our last show, Steve Bunce really enjoyed the River Wilson bent right hand. I think he described it as being thrown from the top right-hand corner of the arena. But he's got that about him. He's good to watch, and he's trying to be entertaining. His big hero is Tommy Hearns. Wants to use those long levers just like he did.
Oh, he's boxing out here. The little adjustments of the feet here from Bent, just a little skip out the distance, but he's always looking to fire back. It's a good start to the first round here.
Gives you an idea of the sights and sounds of this arena and those River Wilson Bent fans. Zoltan Bethrami in that Gorbics corner. Brendan Norman, who is River Wilson Bent's amateur coach, with him still in the pros.
Second round, round 2.
Gabor Gorbics fought Liam Williams at short notice, November 2016. Williams got him out of there in the end in round 8 with a body shot, but he showed how durable he is, and in fact, he did that again in July. His last time out, he lasted 8 rounds with Sam Eggington, the WBA middleweight champion. He's a tough man, this Hungarian.
Well, he is. I was ringside when he boxed Liam Williams. A little bit of a green Liam Williams at the time, to be fair. But yeah, Williams really worked him over from the start to the finish, but he was resistant. But this is a beautiful start here from Bent. Listen, let's be realistic. He's up against a guy here who's not going to be massively ambitious, and of course, he's going to be looking to pick his spots when he can and try and be safe. But Bent's doing what he has to do. Work him over, make those gaps appear in that defence so he can go to work.
Mixes work to head and body, River Wilson Bent. Little flurry from Gorbics. But the more ambition Gorbics shows, of course, the more dangerous it is for him.
Yeah, and well, it is, but he just caught Bent with a little sneaky right hand there, Gorbics, as he was coming forward, and that's something that Bent just maybe wants to just keep an eye on. And again, that jab just slows it down. When some guy comes with ambition, when you've got that long reach that he has, Bent, you can just slow him down with that jab.
Uppercut there from Gorbics and a little punch of the air. Got to get the job done relatively early and make a statement here, River Wilson Bent. That's better from him.
But he can do it risk-free. He doesn't need to take any silly risks. He just doesn't need to get that front foot too close. And if he does get it too close, you've got to do a little pivot to the left, just change the angle slightly. Because there, see, he has that front foot in the stance, dips low, but he's in range of a left uppercut. That's nice there, little adjustment of the feet from Bent. Good work.
Good amateur career, River Wilson Bent. He turned over as a prospect. Boxed for several clubs around Coventry. Good wins, Jordan Reynolds, Kieran Gething.
That's lovely from Bent. See the little movement of the feet? Just daring Gorbics to throw a shot. He took a little sneak back with the feet before he threw again there, Bent. That's just a little change of the footwork there from Bent, just to open up the body there for that left hook. Just took a little spin around to the right. Made all the difference there for the angle of the shot, but that's the punch that's been doing the damage for him. Maintaining the space, opening up the defence there to Gorbics is that lovely long jab of Bent. And I think, except for a few little mistakes, he's boxed quite constructed so far tonight. Disciplined.
7.
Come shield.
Second down, round 3.
So River Wilson-Bent's in control here against Gabor Gorbics, round 3. Wilson-Bent, the taller man in those black and silver trunks. Really getting into his work here and warming to his task, Wilson-Bent.
Look how much better it is when he's just when he just throws it nice and long. You can see it clearer. There's a bit more whip to the shots, more torque to him, and he's having much more success. And also, it's what you do after the punch is quite important. So when he throws and takes a little skip out of distance, he gets a little bit of rhythm to his work. He can come back and attack again, and he's safe. And that's the important part. You're not catching nothing on the way out.
Initially, his mum Diane wouldn't let him box when he had to take a form home and get it signed, and she refused to sign it, but eventually she relented. Now, of course, the big fan of his, biggest fan. That story's replicated in this sport the world over.
Good right hand there from Gorbics.
Gonna smother Wilson-Bent. Head down and charge at him. Never ceases to amaze you that the ability of a fighter like Gorbics at such late notice to come in and put up any kind of show, just staying fit.
I think he was a good amateur, you know. I think he was a decent amateur. Obviously, you know, you get to a stage where you need the money, and becoming a journeyman is more profitable sometimes if you can't sell tickets. And
really good right hook to the body there from Wilson-Bent, and Gorbics took a big deep breath.
But for the most part here, the concentration's good here from Bent. That's a good right hand, nice and long, lovely shot.
Got that leverage, didn't he? And you could see the legs just sink there of Gorbics for a moment.
Yeah, and the technique's good. He's turning upon the waist, he's pushing off the back foot, he's not overreaching, leaning over the front foot too far.
Well, the hope is, I think, that as he moves up, he could become a headliner, River Wilson-Bent, and you could definitely see it. There's a lot to like about him as a person, and the fan base, and also the style. You're always going to want to watch him, and here he comes on the attack at the end of the 3rd round.
Good body shot there. He got clipped with a left hook, but he didn't affect him. It's a good finish to the round there from Bent.
Shield. Yeah, he's starting to through the gears now. What I don't want to do is get carried away and just over the top of it.
Again, it's that right hand we spoke about at the beginning of the round. He just throws that jab and doesn't move the feet back out the distance. He gets caught with that right hand, but for the most part, he was dominant on top, bossing everything. And what we haven't mentioned is the work ethic. You know, he's getting another fast pace. He's looking to be busy all the time and not give Gorbics any room to breathe, any space, any time off. He's always on him.
Just be a bit more relaxed. You all right? Probably fourth or fifth. Good.
Corners 10-7. Second down, round 4.
Round 4 of a scheduled 10 here. River Wilson-Bent, the local man with a big following. And those black and silver trunks against Gabor Gorbics. Very, very game man from Budapest. The late replacement as well when he fought Liam Williams. It makes a habit of it. See, Gorbics was complaining about a low blow there, and Sean Messer just told him to get on with it. Left hook got through there from Wilson-Bent.
But be careful there about shortening that distance with that right hand there, Bent.
delivery from Gorbics. And a bit of success as well.
Yeah, this is where that solid left hand needs to come into place. A little step with the jab. There's a bit of weight behind it, just to put Gorbics back in his place. Stop any momentum that he's trying to build up.
Over those 8 rounds against Sam Eggington, got a share of 1 round on the cards. I don't think he's managed that so far here.
No, he's had a few fleeting moments with the right hand, but that's been about it, really, hasn't it? Ben's been in full control, as we'd expect. No, with this sort of matchup.
Discipline here, Wilson Ben. Don't get carried away with the success. Using those feet and using that height advantage and the reach. Everything he's done well so far.
Yeah, and I was going to say, he has done that, hasn't he? He's been looking for variety in his work, but except for now and again closing the gap, and when he's shortening that right hand and he's been clipped for the most part, he has kept that discipline, kept that concentration. Good right hand there from Bent. Gorbics takes it well, though.
Well, Gorbics was hurt there by the shot to the body. Legs have noticeably slowed there. A little mini crisis there for Gorbics, I think, as Wilson Bent catches him with a right uppercut. That's a lovely shot. The legs sag again there of the Hungarian. Wilson Bent senses something here. Only 20 seconds remaining in round number 4. Just thought he had Gorbics going there.
Maybe for a long range first, I mean. Maybe 4 to 6 long range.
See the way that Gorbics just slumped into that seat in his corner.
Well, that was a hard finish to the round. There's those low body shots there, and one was really low. But then as the referee didn't say anything, and Ben's within his rights to carry on punching, of course. But again, I think another good display there from Ben. The pressure, the relentlessness of his attacks, and then he did land with a good body shot there. He also landed a lovely uppercut off the ropes. You're going to see here now that it is, and that's just taking a little bit of the desire, I would say, out to go with his work. And yeah, that was a hard finish of the round there.
Stick him on the ropes, long range burst.
Corners 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was watching that Gorbics corner carefully.
Second down, round
Long conversation with Zoltan Bertrami. He's really starting to feel it here, Gorbics. He looked a little bit sorry for himself in that corner, understandably.
Well, he can't escape it, can he? He can't escape any from this distance here, where they both are in the ring. He's a sitting duck. He's target practice.
Wilson Bent again intelligently went to the body straight away at the start of round 5. Gorbics is slowing up now again significantly, and this time there's still 2.5 minutes remaining in this 5th round.
That was good from Ben just a second ago. He threw a nice 1-2, and rather than hold his feet, he skipped out, went to the side.
There's people making noise as well.
Oh, nice.
Just taking those little half steps, isn't he, to get himself into the right position to throw these shots. He's so accurate.
And also, people don't realise... Oh, good shot.
And those powerful hooks to the body and then right hand over the top. Gorbics doesn't know where the next punch is coming from at the moment.
Gorbics there constantly talking, I think, to Bent as well, just trying to get him up with his rhythm. But to be fair, the concentration's been pretty good here from Bent. Everything's been pretty much accurate. He hasn't made, as Buncey has said in the past, throwing that right hand from the rafters. It's been all route 1 direct.
Good left uppercut there from Wilson Bent. Gorbics might be doing a lot of talking, but do better to save his breath, I think. Bit of success for him there with a looping right hand, then a left hook.
Good right hand again there from Gorbics. It's better from Bent. Just can't switch off. You know, he switches off in range sometimes, Ben. He hasn't done it so much tonight, but he did then, and then got caught.
Marking under that right eye of Gorbics for a while, and there's a swelling there as well now, which will be hampering him. Great uppercut again from Wilson Bent. He's got Gorbics going. Again, only 20 seconds remaining in the round. Chopping right hand, that's his money shot. Gorbics fighting back. Great action at the end of round 5.
His ribs over there on the right side. I'll give him right hand.
That's lovely variety, just setting him up for that right hand there, jab to the body, one jab up and then a right hand over the top. And it looked like for a while that at last that he maybe broke him, didn't he, a little bit? He broke his spirit and it looked like he was going to get that early finish, but Gorbics somehow toughed it out and seen the end of the round. But it was another good, frantic round here from Bent, picking his shots well, and that uppercut played a huge part. Just tried that chop right there, didn't quite connect with it.
Brendan Norman will be keeping him calm there. Again, Gorbics is slow to get off his stool here. Starts the round with a left hook though. The Hungarian.
Well, that's the important thing now for Ben. He's got to go looking for the finish, of course. Got to keep the pressure on. It's not good here, but also it's that focus, concentration. Nothing silly comes back. It's a fight that you're absolutely walking. No silly mistakes. Everything's got to be neat, and he has been for the most part tonight. Neat and tidy with his work.
Those were close to the border, those body shots, but Sean Messer let them go. He's feeling that he's having really hurtful success to the body, River Wilson Bent.
I'd like to see him put a little bit more back on the jab. There's a good right hand there though from Bent.
No question, as you've already said, that he's had Gorbics going a couple of times here.
Yeah, and again, I do just think he wants to get rid of him, but I just think if he keeps going the way he's going, don't take any silly risks. And he's cutting the ring off, so what he's not following around the ring, he's cutting it off a little bit, so he can walk and take his time.
Gorbics landed that right hand and turned his back. Wilson Bent saw that as a reason to go forward and attack the body. Well, that swelling just gets more and more significant under that right eye.
Let the see Bent, when he throws that solid jab, come back up with the right uppercut.
He hurt him with a fantastic body shot there and followed it with a combination to the head.
Got to be careful with that, Ben. Just squares the feet up sometimes when he wants to throw that single right hand, but that just brings his body a little bit closer to the target.
Wilson Bent that time complaining about low blows. This time he sets up the right hand with that jab, and then a left hook from Wilson Bent. Tell you what, he's a tough man if we didn't know already, Gorbics. When he fought Liam Williams, this kind of fight, and eventually Liam Williams broke him down to the body. I wonder if River Wilson Bent's going to do something similar here.
It's a bit low, that left hook, isn't it?
Switching so well, Wilson Bent, from body to head, and all of the work is accurate again.
Well, caught with the right hand there, bent. And again,
Backing Gorbics up now. How much more can he take? Well, he lasts to the end of another round.
again, except for that little fleeting right hand there that he caught, bent with it again. It was another round where it was all bent. Pressure's really good. He's really investing in that body, really digging him in. And you would have thought by now, to be fair, that Gorbics might have started to feel the pace, but he looks tired in the corner, but he comes out every round, somehow knows enough to survive the onslaught, because Ben's been on it from round one, he really has. And what I like about Ben, he's kept his concentration. He's kept that concentration, kept his composure through most of the fights, and hasn't really made too many mistakes. And in fights sometimes where you're coached in, that can sometimes be a problem.
4 rounds remain, and it is survival for Gabor Gorbics. River Wilson Ben would like to keep his run of early finishes going. Slowed him up, wearing him down. Can he get Gorbics out of there? Follows up those initial punches with another good combination this time, but Gorbics just keeps coming forward.
Well, that was a lovely 1-2 left hook combination there from Bent. And then Gorbics decided to walk forward. So you hit him, and then he wants to fight.
Got to look to his corner there, Gorbics.
Well, I hope he's not expecting his trainer to throw the towel in. His trainer got a phone in his hand, recording it.
He's got a phone in his hand, a hat on his head, and a T-shirt with a terrifying picture of his fighter. He's got a look of a sort of Hungarian Paddy Fitzpatrick about him. Good early flurry from Wilson Ben, but a little quieter since. He's a good poker player, Gorbics. It's hard to work out from the body language how he's feeling. He keeps looking like he's on the brink, and then he shows us something.
Yeah, it needs a... I think where Williams got him, it was a whipping body shot. You know, there's just a change of pace in some of the work. So I think where Ben's really digging in those body shots, maybe a different tact and just taking a whipping shot with that left hook, reducing the power, and produce a little bit more speed with it, and that might have a different effect.
Wilson Ben trying to draw Gorbics onto a shot there. Gorbics' legs buckled again there. He gets off the ropes quickly though. Another round of survival for Gabor Gorbics. The squirrel from Budapest, using every trick in the book here to try and hold on.
Try to do the tape on. Here, look at the minute. Go outside. Okay. This is my bag. Csinálj meg, bazd meg! Kipukad, észre ne bírjon előre! Annyira szeretett, csinálj meg ezt a meccset! 3. Az egy hely, 8 menetünk!
That was nice there from Bent. It's a right hand to the body. And just a little lean back, half a step back, just making sure nothing comes back his own way. And again, I think he saw, even though he was dominant in that round, and again, it was a good pace, he sort of took a little bit his foot off the pedals a little bit. I think, you know, he's had sort of 6.5 or 7 rounds now there of really pushing the pace, trying to get this guy out there. I think he just took a little bit of a rest. Just gives him a bit of energy maybe for the final push.
When you throw that body, make sure you come out.
Seconds out, round 8.
Round 8 then of a scheduled 10. River Wilson Bet, who looked odds on to get Gabor Gorbics out of there, maybe in the first half of the fight, has slowed him up, has nullified him completely, but hasn't been able to find a finish. Double jab there from Wilson Bet.
Yeah, his jab's been good. No, his jab's been good. Sometimes superb tonight when he's really put a bit of weight behind it and really concentrating on that speed with the shot.
Having a co-commentator talk about the importance of the jab, it's like having Richie with me.
Listen, we love the basic stuff, because the basics get you home. They do the straight shots, the high guard, all those things that you learn from a kid. But for a reason, they're the best and safest things to do.
A little word there about the height of those punches. Sean Methodist telling Wilson Bet to keep them up. Wilson Bet was trying to draw Gorbics onto that right hand and force him into a mistake, but he wasn't having it. That's a right cross there from Wilson Bet. What a good punch that was. Looking for the body again, hooks to both sides of the body.
Good footwork as well there from Ben, just skipping out of trouble, and Gorbics trying to come back with a little bit of his own attack. The thing is, where does it get to the point where you think, do you know what, I've thrown the kitchen sink at this fella, he's not moving.
We can start to pick it up again, yeah?
It must be the temptation to realise that and just cruise to the finish line. He's way ahead. I don't think he's made that way, River Wilson Ben.
And also, he doesn't look like, it's not as if he's thrown everything at him and he's gassing out. He looks like he's full of energy, Ben. So you keep going for that. But I wonder if you're starting to get a bit tired, do you just play it safe? But for the minute, his fitness has been quite good.
Well, these Coventry fans supporting River Wilson Ben, a local roofer, will certainly have more exciting two-sided fights to watch him in, I'm sure. But they're still enjoying this, and they're trying to open up again here, River Wilson Ben.
He can't do any more, could he, Ben, to be honest? He's hit him with absolutely everything. There was a lovely uppercut there, a lovely real straight hand.
Body shots will finish him, head shots will wait for
As we've seen time and again, Barry, sometimes, oftentimes, it's harder to make a dent in an unambitious fighter than in an ambitious one, and Gorbics is surviving.
It is, but I think a change in pace sometimes work. The flurry upstairs and whip down to the body might make a big difference here.
Jobban ki van fáradni, és rettem, nagyon, nem a franciát, tudom, jó boxol? 2 meg van, többre.
Find the gears.
Húbozni kell boxolni, azt
There's a lovely long right hand there from Ben. Really good technique, turning from the core, not getting too far over the front foot. That's textbook stuff there from River Wilson Ben. Gorbics was, he had a little sprightly attack to start the round, but then really was kept quiet for the rest of those 3 minutes. That was another mirror image of the last 7 rounds, to be honest, wasn't it, that 8th round.
Pause 10 seconds. Seconds out, round 9.
Penultimate round then. Settles into a similar pattern. It's going to be a long 6 minutes for Gabor Gorbics.
That's been the only worry, the only slight warning sign from Ben is that it's been easy to catch with the right hand over the top, over that left hand at times.
Just a scraping touch to the forehead of Gorbics, but nothing that's going to bother him, I don't think, as he lands a punch to the body of his own.
again, bro. What are you looking at him for?
Exchanging body shots that time.
Oh, look at him.
I wonder if Wilson Bent started to feel the pace a bit here. He's having a little bit of a breather at the start of round 9.
I think he's paced himself a little bit, but I think he's going to look for a amount of decent attack. I think that if he can get Gorbics onto the ropes with a solid straight shot, he flurries upstairs just to lift those elbows up and then whips all speed for that body shot. Because Gorbics is used, you can get used to the weight of a shot, see, and those sudden shots, as much as they hurt, you become accustomed to them in a strange way. So sometimes a change in that will work for you, a change in pace, velocity of the shot, power sometimes.
Nice and comfortable behind that jab. Slower pace in round 9 so far.
Let's put some back down and let's go. Come on. Come on, then, push in here. Let's go.
River Wilson Bent has won every minute of every round so far, and even though this has been less violent, we still have to give it to him so far anyway. Still 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, and he's winning on the jab alone, isn't he? That's all he's doing there. I think he's pacing himself, and every time he pops that jab up, he's accurate with it. And to be fair, the pace the fight has been, or the pace he's set, in a non-competitive fight, of course, but still the pace he's set has been a decent one.
Gorbics backed up. Again, he beckons Wilson Bent forward in that kamikaze way that these durable journeymen often do. All part of the act, I suppose. The right hand from Gorbics at the end of the round.
No time, no time, no time, no time. Give me, sorry.
Again, pretty much the same as the last 8 rounds, but the straight shots are working for Bent and maintaining that distance when he's throwing those straight shots, and it's all been a good night for him so far. He took a little bit of breather, I thought, on that round. He seemed still dominant and winning everything, but was more happy just to dominate with the left hand, with the jab, and not only at the last sort of 10 seconds he mounted any sort of really sustained attack.
Corners 10 seconds. Seconds out for the 10th and final round.
Plenty of respect between these two. 10th and final round. And there were times, or there've been times, that Gorbics didn't look likely to see this round.
No, he's boxed in, no, now a bit. Lay in, lay off. Arms back on that second round. I'm going with the rear round, first and second. First and
Great
third.
replacement, but he's proved not a test in the sense he's looked like he could win, but with test of durability, just like Sladan Yanyanin would have been, who was trash-talking River Wilson Bent. I think that would have been a different kind of fight. It might be over by now, that one, but different test here for Wilson Bent.
Yeah, I think it's been a test of his intelligence in the ring, certainly his concentration about keeping his shape, keeping that focus, for 10 rounds, because it's hard to do it in a competitive fight, but it's also very hard to do it when you're winning everything, quite comfortable, and you're coasting. When you switch off, sometimes you can get caught. And for the most part, he has now and again, but for the most part, the concentration levels have been spot on. The jab's been good for him, the straight right hand has worked. He's done all he can do really to stop him, but he's not been able to break that shell.
They can make that Tyler Denny fight. Good fight there for the English title.
Yeah, it really is.
Not wanting to think too far down the line. There's 2 or 3 fights you can think of for River Wilson Bent that you'd really like to see. He wants the campaign longer term at super welterweight. His 6'1" height would really help him even more than at middle.
Well, there's a Sebastian Fendora over in the States. I think he's 6'3". Super welter. Sorry, I always get confused with what the weights are called now.
I know. I knew you were going to say
Former light
that.
middle. That's a good right hand. Again, see, the technique's good. The shot's right. He threw the right shot at the right time, but just can't make a dent on Gorbics.
Well, Wilson Ben play acted a bit there and paid the price.
It's a good response.
Yeah, great response to being caught himself. Needs to be careful though. Jumps on Gorbics in the final 15 seconds.
Get the hand out. Away from him, space.
Good learning fight. And he's always watchable, and he's been watchable here, River Wilson Ben. A triumph in a way for both of them. Wilson Ben's going to get the decision comfortably, but Gorbics did well there to last the distance, and he deserves great acclaim here, and hopefully he'll get a good round of applause. Not a hard fight to score, not at all, but Wilson Ben, work in progress, but a very watchable one, Barry.
Yeah, he is. I thought he was more controlled, I thought, tonight than when I saw him last time. So I think the focus was good, and some of his technique is fantastic. He looks good. And again, it's a learning fight for him. It's not a fight he was ever in any danger of losing. But again, he got a good 10 rounds under his belt. That's an experience that money can't buy. He fought at a good pace, controlled everything. Shot selection was good, very good at times. And he did all he could do, really, to get him out there. But he's a real stubborn, experienced opponent who knows how to survive, takes a great shot, and just knows to do enough at the right time to not get overwhelmed. But all in all, I thought it was a good display there from Riverbend.
Well, let's make it official now and get to our MC Paul Bill.
The fight goes the distance, so our scoring referee Sean Messer has it at 100 to 90 in favour of the winner, the Coventry Crusader. Still undefeated, River Wilson Ben.
Good display. Now he can move on maybe to bigger challenges. But he's delighted this Coventry crowd, the very watchable Crusader, River Wilson Ben.
The arena, a very warm, respectful show of appreciation, please, for a very gallant runner up there, Gabor Gorbics. And the winner, next time in the ring, it'll be 10 fights, 10 victories for River